Our invitation is to Pope Francis to go to St. Paul, Sao Paulo in Brazil, and consecrate the new Temple of Solomon, the largest cathedral in the New World, built the year he became Pope. And it transitions from the Passion of Christ to the Passion of Paul in Rome, with St. Luke as his mentor. Dear Pope Francis, greetings from Washington State, once called God's country when George was senior. Here is a picture. My son and I built a memorial chapel for our Saint John Paul, who I spent an afternoon with in New Zealand in 1986. Now, I am sending you my book, for it has an important message from St. John Paul. I write it like Luke, so to speak, who was played by Jim Caviezel in the story of Paul after the Passion of Christ. The story begins in 1970, sharing the born-again experience with Franklin Graham, so to speak, after university in Mexico, then being sent to Greece by our Greek Archbishop in Dallas in 1981 to wind up in Pristina, Bosnia, to witness the true beginning of Medjugorje with the assassination attempt of Pope John Paul then. And the follow-up in Christchurch with the afternoon sit, greet, and meet 2-on-2 with the Pope and the Bishop of Wellington, with my host from Alexandria, Virginia, to witness another Fatima message from the sky. So eventually, in 2007, I did immigrate from the Old World Orthodoxy to America's new vision of a born-again Christianity inside our Greco-Roman traditions in the New World, from Alaska to Argentina. That was with Archbishop Duran in Cuenca, Ecuador in 2007, with, you see, the two mothers and their daughter from Catholic Television as my host. So, what's the message from me and Caviezel and St. John Paul? What's the message to our Pope Francis from Argentina? Well, it is just this. You must go to Brazil, Sao Paulo, and officially, with your Latino bishops, consecrate the new Temple of Solomon in Sao Paulo. Why? For it was built as you were being chosen to be the first American Pope. And it will carry the message that our American President Ronald Reagan, with Pope John Paul, St. John Paul, who consecrated Russia out of the Soviet Union. Okay, today in the European Union, you and your fellow Romans are consecrating Islam with Christianity, like raising Abraham's rocks, calling them Isaac and Ishmael, or Abel and Cain. But you have forgotten one thing. That is the message from Allah, and it is not the message from Jesus Christ or his Father, our God in heaven. Yes, it may be the future of Europe, but it's not the destiny of our new world. I'm sorry, Francisco, you cannot serve God and Mammon too there in Europe. I know, Franco tried, along with Mussolini and Hitler, with Lenin and Stalin too. And all their refugees from the great wars of Europe pillaged South America to be what it is today, in many places a house of horrors. So, Pope Francis, you must consecrate Christianity out of Europe and the old world to here, to the Americas, and make Solomon's great temple in Brazil the archetype of Jerusalem in the New World. We have faith in you, Pope Francis.